So good morning, everyone. My name is Soona. I'm a third-year PhD student majoring in hospitality and tourism management at Purdue University. So first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity that I can be a keynote speaker at this first hotel leadership seminar. In this session, what I'd like to particularly talking about is the technologies in lodging post-COVID-19, particularly focused on what technology should be kept and what technology should be cautious of. So first of all, I want to start from the general background of the lodging operations after the post-COVID-19. Of course, the lodging industry, it has faced different kind of crises and risks, such as due to economic downturns or natural disasters. But I believe that everyone would agree that the current COVID-19 pandemic, it has shaken the industry the most. Therefore, the most important question that was given to the industry is how the lodging industry should adjust to this risk. What should be a resilience plan against to this current health risk? So we have seen the different adjustment and effort that made by the lodging industry, such as they provide us like flexibility in terms of their cancellation policies, or they can developing another like new safety measures or training employees. However, despite of these significant changes or effort that made by the lodging industry, a lot of guests, they are still expected to travel or stay in the lodging industry. They are still expected to hesitate to travel and stay in the lodging industry, and mainly because of the residual health risk that might have with the current health risk. Similarly, guests today, they have renewed their focus on health and safety because of the current pandemic. So therefore, when they decide to stay in the lodging industry, they want to feel the similar level as comfort as well as safety compared to when they stay at their homes. Therefore, key to manage this crisis is to convince our guests that it's a safe place to stay. And the technology, it can play a critical role in terms of the providing a perceived safety and health, not only physically as well as emotionally. Technology, it also can increase the extra safety level over the lodging environment as well. Even though there are some people who believe that current COVID-19 pandemic, it may be just a temporary disruption for the society and the lodging industry. However, a lot of experts, they have believed that most of the change that has been made due to COVID-19, it will more likely to stay under the new term, new normal. And so as the technology applications in the lodging industry as well. Just like what Dr. Leto mentioned, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen the upward trend of the technology applications in the lodging industry. However, the COVID-19, it significantly fastened the pace of technology applications in the lodging industry globally. However, what I want to highlight from this speech is not that every technology, it will bring the same benefit to the lodging industries, which means that certain technology, it may be extra beneficial as compared to other technologies. On the other hand, other technology may not really. And also, even if the same technology depends on how service provide in their service operation, it can be used as either good, like beneficial, or malicious. And just like everything else, the technology, it also has its limitations and defects. Therefore, we should be cautious of such limitations of technologies. And that's the reason that why current topic, what should be kept and what should be cautious of is important. So what technology should we keep? I'd like to mention two particular types of technology during this speech session. The first technology is the technology that helps to increase the health and cleanliness standard of the property. And then the second technology is the technology that helps guests to avoid any unnecessary direct contact with other people. So I will start from the survey that has been done by one of the travel and marketing companies, Skift. So what they did was they asked multiple potential lodging guests, and then they asked which particular lodging type they would like to stay and what's the primary reason for that. For me, what was noteworthy was that disregard they choose wherever they choose, including the traditional branded hotels or boutique hotels or even resorts. The major reason they choose to stay in that hotel is because they believe that such lodging type has a higher cleaning standard as compared to other lodging types. So it may not be a surprise for some of you because who wants to stay in a place does not offer the clean space. But what I want to say is that because of the current COVID-19, the cleanliness responsibility has been far magnified than before. Similarly, me and Dr. Leto, we conduct academic research to reveal which safety measure has the strongest influence on hotel customers. So we showed 11 different safety measures that has been recently introduced by the hotels, including providing sanitation kit or installing plexiglasses. And among the 11 different safety measures, adopting the cleanest technology, it has the strongest influence on not only their hotel choice behavior, but also their willingness to pay more, which support the importance of advanced cleaning technology again. So therefore, the technology that enhancing disinfection and reshaping the lodging industry cleanliness protocol should be remained. For example, ultraviolet technologies and electrostatic sprayer should be kept. Such technology allows the service provider to reduce potential health and safety risk through the removing any germs or bacteria in guest rooms, or even on the high touch surfaces that have been one of most consideration and concerns for the lodging guests, because the lodging has a lot of communal spaces, such as lobby area or elevators. Also, the technology that can be used as a first-line employee while improving guest service should be remained. Now, there are more and more guests, they prefer to avoid any long queue or crowd because of the current COVID-19 pandemic. Therefore, mobile technologies such as the keyless entry and contactless payment technology or contactless check-in, check-out method that are designed to provide guests to more convenient services, as well as better health and safety standards through practicing social distance should be remained. In addition, other technology that help controlling the guest rooms by guests themselves can provide not only personalized service, but also increase their overall service experiences due to the perceived control that they were given to the guest. So something to take note here is that even if such contactless technology should be remain in the lodging industry, the lodging industry should provide a warm feeling to the guest. The essence of the hospitality is providing memorable service experiences as well as provide a sense of welcome to their guests. Of course, I understand there is a misconception that such contactless technology, it may hinder from building a close relationship of guest and employee or guest and company. However, such technology also can be helpful for free up the employees so they can have more personal and meaningful interaction with their guests. For example, employees, they can have more time to focus on the moments that is matter for the guests. For example, they can give advice to their guests where to head out or where to eat before they head out their day trip, or they can dealing with any urgent service issue they may have with the lodging properties. Or they can just have simply taking time to engage with their guests through the friendly conversation with them. So again, the two technologies should be remained. The first technology is the technology that increase the cleanliness standard, and then the second technology is the technology that can be helpful reducing any unwanted direct contact with other people. So next, just like the what technology should be kept section, there are two particular things that I would like to discuss about what technology should be cautious of. And the first thing that I would like to say is the complete automated service without any human touch. And then the second thing is the biometrics-based technology that can raise guest privacy concerns. So firstly, the lodging industry should be cautious of providing full automated service to guests without any human touch. So now we are seeing more and more lodging property that provide the complete automation service without human touch. For example, hotel located in New York City or Hana Hotel located in Japan. Of course, such hotel can provide some memorable experiences for certain people who especially love technologies or early adopters. However, we should remember that not everyone is familiar with technologies. And also, lodging industry is one of the most service-oriented industry even among the hospitality industry. Therefore, it's difficult to assume that everyone is ready to serve themselves via technology rather than receiving traditional human interaction services by employees. In addition, the service failure because of these technology malfunctions as well as the technology user themselves, it is inevitable. However, the technology, it does not have service recovery function, which more likely to increase the guest frustration when they facing the service failure with technologies as compared to the traditional human interaction services. On the other hand, still like human employees, they can make a complex judgment, especially when there are unexpected events occur, such as service failure. And I also want to say that there are multiple studies that the study focused on the technology applications in the lodging context. And most of them found that even if the guests, they are appreciate and enjoy the benefit of technology, they still prefer to have availability of the human employees' help. So in this regard, the service provider, they can provide kind of a sort of semi-automated service, which is a combination of technologies and traditional human service instead of providing full automated service without any human employees' help. So in that way, the lodging industry, they can provide a flexibility in terms of the service. For example, the guests, they can choose the preferred service options between technologies or traditional human employee services, or even if when they're operating technology and they're facing the service failure, they can get an immediate help from the employees. And the second thing that what we should be cautious is that guest privacy risk because of the biometric-based technologies. Because of the adoption of technology, information format and data format of lodging industry has been extremely computerized, which means that guest records are becoming more easier to copy, transferred, and searched. Therefore, naturally, it raises some ethical concerns, especially related to guest privacy violations. The lodging industry should be mindful that there always been a risk of data breach. For example, last year, Rich Hotel located in UK, they experienced a data breach. And even a month ago, one of the luxury lodging group, the Central Hotel in Thailand, they suffered the data breach so that some of their guest credit card information was compromised by the hackers. Therefore, we should be cautious of technology that collect even more sensitive data, such as biometrics-based data. Since biometrics data is not only unique, that is enough to personally identifiable, but also it's permanent. Therefore, it can raise the higher risk when it's breached compared to the other traditional data that the lodging industry used to use, such as contact information. For example, some hotels now, they have adopted face recognitions, so they can use the guest facial features instead of the traditional key, room key, or the contactless payment methods. Or another example is voice assistant technologies, such as Amazon Alexa or Google Assistants, so that they can use such technology as their personal butler in their guest rooms. In fact, I also conducted with another academic study with Dr. Leto and one of my colleague, Mohammed, and relate to how the biometrics-based service technology is perceived by the hotel guests. And we found out that hotel guests, they're more likely to relate to their privacy rather than enjoying the benefit of such services. Of course, such technology, it can be convenient for the people. Again, I'm not trying to say we should eliminate such technology. We should be just cautious of such technologies, because guests, they do not need to call or visit to the concierge desk physically to ask simple questions, or guests, they do not need to carry a physical key card, try to open the door, or they don't even need to carry their mobile phone to open the door. But then again, we should be aware with the guest privacy concerns and risk when we are using such biometrics-based technologies, because once biometrics data is compromised, it can be used for identity theft as well as financial crime. So therefore, the lodging industry, they can give, again, the flexibility to their guests so they can have the control over their privacy, whether they want to use such certain technology or not, instead of implementing such technology to every guest. And also, lodging property, they can invest not only customer-facing technology, such as contactless technology, but also the back-of-the-scene technology that is helpful for secure and protect the guest data, such as the blockchain technologies. Okay, so to sum up, there are, as a final note of my speech, I want to mention that there has been a vast applications of technologies in the lodging industry, and it is true that there are countless benefit was given to the industry, not only industry itself, but also guests, especially providing a sense of health and safety against the current COVID-19 pandemic. However, to further to maximize its benefit, we should be aware of what should be kept and what should be cautious of. Especially, we should keep the technology that can enhance the cleanliness standard as well as technology that can reduce any unwanted/unnecessary contact with other people. On the other hand, we should be cautious of the complete automation without any human touch or guest privacy concern from the biometrics-based technologies. So this is the end of my speech, and thank you so much for your attention.